We've got boots for what, +1 perception instead of +1 composure. I like perception. The detail they put in the game is astounding. Yes. It's a trade-off. The gameplay itself is extremely light. The plus is, though, usually when you get someone fill that trade-off, the detail's not quite as high, whereas these guys have definitely put extra into the replacement. You know? So it really is more of a choose-your-own-adventure story with, you know, very RPG light, but yeah, the story itself is phenomenal. And like you said, all the different writing options, there's stuff that happens, and you see it in the dialogue. It'll have one of these, either, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 character traits. And one of these occasionally will roll off and win, and it only shows you the wins. You know, where you might have some knowledge of electrochemistry against something that's happened or someone says, and so your brain will give you a little bit of insight from it. It's really cool. Take some more money. Is that part of our car? The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. No, I can't. Quick travel unlocked. Well, there you go. I was just joking earlier when I said, oh, we need some quick travel. Kick drum pulse. Music comes from somewhere on the ice. Interesting. Before your drawbridge, it can only be lowered from the other side. Okay, let's... What happened? We kick the post? Is there money in all these posts? Oh, we needed that. We don't actually want to go in the church. I think we want to stay outside the church for now. So we can't actually walk behind the church, though. An altar, the shroud too dark inside, some money. Oh, is that the dude? That's going to be the dude, right?
shaggy-looking girl
No.
in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh. Hello there.
Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your hat?
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
Said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
I do have a hat on. I should and I do.
Oh. I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too if you plan on staying outside.
Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
Oh, is that kind of language really necessary?
I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else.
Yeah, be nice to my hat.
My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me.
Ah. What's your name?
Estelle.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing.
Yeah, so that's like one of the
There's a
traits,
coarseness to her
perception.
features, some masculinity below that timidness.
Sell who? I'm not a young suitor. This is official police business.
Okay, it's Burger.
I sell burger.
A very common name.
What's that device you have here?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
And the wires?
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
What's a contact microphone?
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike.
Any news of my wife's name? We're talking to ourselves now. Any news of my wife's name? How about my mother?
No. You're welcome.
How does it work?
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble.
Where'd you get the mic from?
Same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum.
Wait, what's the Palaceum?
Oh man, you haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Oh. Who is this Arno guy?
Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum going kind of person.
I get down.
I don't know what that means.
I grind.
I don't know what that means either.
Means I'm hip beyond my years.
That's cool.
Yeah, time has deserted me.
Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing out here in the cold?
Recording, I guess.
What?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice. But there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
Wait, yeah, we lost like 4 points of morale in one conversation. What happened to the headphones?
My boyfriend sold them.
What for?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
And what were the cracks in the footsteps?
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain.
Just nod.
Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway.
Turning back and forth to not total spoiler. Yeah, we got some cool pants and boots. You're gonna have to play a lot this week, man. I'm gonna wanna, hit it up every Monday at least.
I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
Take this, your call.
Lieutenant begins to take off his jacket.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
I don't want to give her this hat though. I've got a different hat. You said it's supposed to be a music place? What is it?
That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really not going to be a Palaceum, that's for sure.
The boys?
Yeah. Andre and the guys, they're inside, in the tent.
And why is that?
Why are you freezing out here while the boys are inside? While the boys are inside?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room.
Stuff like what?
Music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it.
You mean like those headphones your boyfriend sold?
Yep. They were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those.
Why not just leave some of it outside so you don't have to freeze?
That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I can take the cold.
It's probably amphetamine. It makes you feel impervious to the elements, but doesn't actually make you any less cold.
Why can you take it?
I got my recordings to do. I feel better outside. Go ahead.
Tell me more about this music place you've been planning in the church.
It's supposed to become like a club for anodic dance music, like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Palaceum. Except that, yeah,
Yeah. What's the anhedonic stuff?
you know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments.
Oh, like what?
Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers
Got a
too.
breakthrough waiting.
Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
This is an evolutionary step up from amplified instruments, which in turn are a step up from acoustic instruments. What comes after it, you wonder? A black-tinted nothingness or something finer?
So you want to turn the church into a club?
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right?
Yeah, why do you ask?
Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys. Because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right?
I'll talk to them.
They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else?
Nah.
Go ahead. Okay, bye.
Bye. Alright, what do we get from this white morning? %20 zoom out distance. Okay. I mean, not gonna lie, a little disappointed with that, but... You can lower the drawbridge.
A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up.
What is this?
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
Push it.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk. The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
Squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
We're older than him.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Smells like sweat and laundry detergent. They got plenty of room in here. Oh wait, that kicks me out. Oops. That's the hardcore music from the church. You're at the start. And I'm guessing the church is the church from the start. No surprises there.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair
Egghead.
holds up a Harman Walshy tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
Please don't give me a morale failure.
Hardcore! Hardcore!
Still say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega!
Alright.
Here comes the night!
could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
What if I want to speak to you first?
I suck at socialising, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in, get a reading on your sign.
That's ridiculous. Alright, I'll do
The
that.
young man picks up a thin metal saw blade and nods. You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, these fine young boys.
There is definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic, yes, should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
How many have you organised?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
So 0.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet.
Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There's no need. The place is pretty bad.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
There's a lot of drug addicts, yeah.
I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads.
Burnouts.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Reversholt.
Wow.
Strike that. The world.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
Oh, I should clear them out.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch.
Yes. And the worst part is, they're also spooky.
What do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead.
So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
Yeah, I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
What's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
So you've locked them in there.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
What about a key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
Be cool, cop. Catch the key as it flies towards us, or let it fall to the ground and pick it up, like a normal adult person. You gotta be cool, cop, right?
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Bask in the glory, or thanks, man. Play it cool.
The speed freak nods to you.
How long have those people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there.
Andre, do you know what involuntary manslaughter means?
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. What does anything mean, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I catch your drift.
I knew you'd get it. You're one smart cop.
I get by. Now, where was I with that padlock?
He nods attentively, ready
wait, we
to
have other
answer the questions.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Alright, who are the people in the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't... well, better safe than sorry. Anything more you can tell me?
Yes. There's also the machinery.
Wait, what?
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
Wires into bowls of water.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
You haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
How can you be sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't even seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
It's probably
This is
good
a
enough for
below
us.
feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
I mean, I don't want to call him an idiot.
I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you.
Yeah, let's talk
Sure.
about something else.
What?
No, I
As
actually don't
always-
want to talk to them. I feel it's making me as a person dumber having my character talk to them. We also run a risk of failing a morale check and dying. How do we get this fast travel to work now? That's what's important. Okay, what we do is we travel. There we go. M for map. Travel to the Martinez thing. I'm gonna buy some morale drugs.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs.
Okay, here. I hope. Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope so. Okay, here. I hope.
That was good. Wait, how am I supposed to acquire a copy of the city map? But I had a... How do you think I got here? Fast traveled here in the first place? Ah, ripped off. Guess we were going to run it. Thanks, game. One-way fast travel only. It's not too far.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Open the padlock with the key.
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum in the heart of the city.
Strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Okay. This grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. It was added later and is not part of the original. More of the forked lightning pattern we saw outside. Bark beetles. It's a pattern. Filled with complex equations, they look recent. Something to do with radio frequencies. Bowl is filled with water, live wire runs directly into it. Could they work as contact microphones? I got a scarf. Doesn't make us feel anything. We do get a pain threshold from it, but I want my Inland Empire, I think. Inland Empire is cool. Figure drawn in frost on the window, depicting a deer. A pane of colourful glass. Spider has spun its web around that pillar. Empathy shoes? No. $1.27. On a roll here.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yeah, but this machine looks just like the one in the doomed commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect, a model number RC7024, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible interim printer. The Ream Prefect is the governmental version of the commonly used Ream Civic model. Although mostly based on the same technology, the Ream Prefect is equipped with better noise attenuation circuits.
Just investigate.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing.
Look
You
inside
see
the
the
compartment.
machine's glow. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Press play.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman
Yeah.
you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Fortress accident, like the one in the... Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Fortress accident, like the one in the doomed commercial area.
I have two machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brune, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Saint-Brune. That's the church. And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
Right, so this is the same people trying to do that, their radio MMO.
Anything else I can help you with?
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log February, March.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Okay.
Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
No.
Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons. Behind the hatch, another filament
So we can't take that filament out. Portable Harman Waushi tape recorder. Possible as recording something.
in white, silver, and apricot faience. The young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Okay.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
Close your eyes first.
The world is silent, but for the
like
creaks and cracks
Goes
of the
black. I
massive
love it.
wooden structure behind you, it covers you from the wind outside. The ocean feels distant, its ebb and flow blocked off by the centuries-old pinewood sarcophagus around you.
Open your eyes.
The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips, and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive.
It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same as you get up.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
How do we know?
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both.
What shattered this mosaic? Probably someone trying to get out.
Unknown. A motor carriage? A gunshot? Someone falling into it? Or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break?
Who is the older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
The motto, what does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then, along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the insulindian, on human thinking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death.
Lieutenant, this used to say after life, death after...
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
Oh, what's the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
I like the other one better.
So do I.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
This is Dolores Day.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
Kim, are you a follower of DeLoreanism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin.
The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
I didn't think you were spiritual.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Alright, let's roll against this. How do we know her?
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Right, what exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate innocentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
So when did she rule then?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
Well, what else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene La Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir Laclais. Also, that she was gorgeous beyond beauty.
Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the anti-DeLorean court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state. A scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene La Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era. Wow, indeed.
Wow,
when
indeed.
her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest.
Might be slightly fictitious, that part.
Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Real Belt.
I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supreme Windy. Altogether, 21 of the 40 Mundial nations of the time immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What? One of the men in the Secret Service killed her 22 years later. Okay.
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Is there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacentic, Mare Interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her.
Well,
this subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
yeah.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
somehow she's connected to the case.
She's been dead for 300 years. I am almost 1,000% certain she isn't connected to the case. None of this is, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't a good place to get lost in.
The bow collector.
What do we get?
It's early in the morning.
Plus
The
3
world
shivers.
is dark blue. The sparks light her face.
That'd be a good one to
delicate
take for someone
composition of
doing a
triangles.
shivers build.
The streets seem to grow longer, like in a dolly zoom. And there's something in the air as you stand there and wave back at the shapes growing smaller and smaller. Something that has always been there. A great see-through world. The tenderness you feel. The ghost of Revachol between you, carrying your signals. The holy messenger.
Mm-hmm.
The mother of humanism stands above you.
Can we not? No, okay, we can't. So there's no one in here. Look into the spookers in the church. Sync with the Noid. Find Idiot Doomspiral's jacket. Well, there's nothing really to look in here at the church. We'll go tell the boys that there's nothing here. Oh, we've got to try and talk to the Noid. Right.
Winter, slow to let go of Revachol. Flecks some more wet snow from above.
Look around you.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. It has been a cold year. All things waiting for spring will have to wait a bit longer.
I think having shivers is a
Looking
bad
up
thing.
at the sky, melted snow dripping from your hat.
What do I see?
The sky is full of great battleships. White clouds collide with one another, and the world is drenched with their debris.
How does it feel?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather.
I don't think
At
you want
least
to have
your
points
hair
of
is
shivers.
protected from
I
getting
think that
wet
means you
and
shiver
sticking
more.
together. You look around.
It's in the west.
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-river, the waters turn no more
I don't want the
below
shivers.
the old mine, where the children under 40 few
No, get out
all
of the
around
shivers.
her.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up?
Raise the hair on your neck to tune into the city. At high level, shivers make you seem mad at the outside world as you listen to city, you don't listen to others. Okay, so yeah, it is kind of like one of those weird feelings. It's like a fine attunement, I guess. Yeah, I don't want it. We'll just have to stomp that shiver off every time we get it.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid?
Yeah.
That's fine, man. But I've got to warn ya, my signs are still off. It'll take some time for me to get my sigh on.
Okay, but I thought we'd be okay now,
I'm
sign-wise.
doing what I can.
He looks like a well-thought-out individual. The synchronization might be worth it in the long run.
Okay, I'll come back later.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
About the church, I checked it out.
And? What happened?
There's no one inside.
But you did see the machines, right? And the spooky water basins set up in the ritualistic circle in the middle of the church.
Yeah.
I tell you, they're in there. You just have to give it another go.
Okay. I guess we had to talk to these idiots about stuff. You mentioned some kind of ecclesiast, their own church. Who are they?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Now humour me, Andre. What is the founding
Come
party?
to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation. And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, made the innocentic system, no?
Oh, they sound like exactly the kind who would want loud analytic music in their church.
You're right, they do.
The Pericarnassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance. Love is hardcore.
Yep.
Unity!
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
Okay.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters.
I guess love can be pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, it can.
He's coming around. You're getting it.
No words, enjoy the beat. Nod your head.
Feels good.
You're right. How could the founding party be anything but enthusiastic? Dance music is about love, and so is the Pericarnassus Church.
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if, they get this club going. You've got it in you.
Alright, Denoid has his signs. What's to do with Egghead there?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
How do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to him?
Yeah, sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
Hardcore to the mega.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself. I get it. He's a puzzle.
What about this tent full of equipment?
Yes. What?
You brought your own water?
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
And it's distilled too?
Oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
Right.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
What's with all the Nosafed?
The what now?
And pointing the bottles of native spray.
Oh, the old Ultra.
He's like an actor, looking to the souffleur for his line.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
This makes sense.
Yes. What?
Reeks of sweat in
It
here.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Told you we have a smell problem.
Like laundry
He
detergent.
sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share. However, their breathing is regular, their jaws stay put, and their pupils aren't dilated. So, not under the influence right now. At least, not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants. How do you know all this?
Well...
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Yeah.
Huh? I see you're here again. Off-sign, man. Did I mention getting us into the church would help?
But, okay.
The young man with the tape recorder acknowledges your return. When he looks at you, he squints as though you were the setting sun.
This is hardcore. Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core! All right! Yeah!
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
So hardcore.
Is it though?
It is.
But is it? I mean, really?
I was thinking that too.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chicks checker. Yeah!
Okay.
Back to the heavyweight jam. Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent.
I was wondering if you knew who killed the mercenary hanging behind the whirling in rags hostel.
Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be!
Why is this Yokota the place to be?
Yakokata is a hardcore place!
Yekokata is an abbreviation from the Gradian term, Zone of Ecological Catastrophe, an agricultural megaproject in the extreme southeast of the Gradian Isola. It involved cutting-edge approaches to irrigation and a completely new type of fertilizer. An intricate system of irrigation networks pockmarking the earth, intermittent seas of phosphorus mud, ripped tarpaulin fluttering in the wind. A pair of molten rubber boots also comes to mind. All in all, a truly hardcore place.
There's got to be some way to talk to this dude.
We're close. True, hard, full, core. Hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Here comes the night. We're close. True, hard, full, core. It's hardcore. Skibbity, skibber danger. I am the rearranger.
Okay.
We're close. True, hard, full, core. Hardcore. Hardcore to the mega.
All right.
Here comes the night.
We're past hardcore to the mega.
True, hardcore to the internally coherent. All core, all right. Yeah.
Just tell me exactly what you're doing.
Gotta get the people going.
I see.
Yeah, Rick.
True, hard, full, core. It's hardcore. Skibbity. True, hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. It's the message, so listen.
There's going to be a combination.
Or
we'll try them all, and we'll get nothing.
To the mega. Here comes the nut. True, hardcore. Yeah!
This young man adds a capital G before the H in his yegs and args. This produces a guttural Gotvaldian accent and makes him sound more animal. Or maybe it's not Gotvaldian. Maybe it's Oranese. Probably an homage to Oranje, where Arno van Eyck is from, judging by his name.
So this is the famous
Could
Van
you
Eyck
be
I'm
listening
hearing.
to an Arno van Eyck creation right now?
You know about him?
You know Van Eyck?
Yeah, match at Egghead.
Wow!
The skinny wraith looks at you with some disbelief.
So am I! So am I!
Oh! Is that why they call you Egghead? Because...
Egghead to the mega! The K became the G!
Egghead,
the
not
boy became
Egghead.
the man! The Advent? We're close. True, hard, full, hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core, all right, yeah!
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore!
The question is, what is the question?
It would have been good if I'd asked you a question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic.
But there was a question?
Ah, there was almost a question.
True. Hard, internally coherent. All car.
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore. Ah!
The question is, what is the question?
Just answer the question.
But there was no question.
We're close. True. Hardcore, internally. All car.
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore.
Is it though?
I was just thinking that a moment ago.
One mind, one spirit. There's no.
Okay, we can go a little bit further with that, and then I think that's all the...
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore.
Is it though?
It is.
What is it? I mean, really?
The question is, what is the question?
No, but seriously.
Solve
I'm
the
a
egg
bit
puzzle.
worried It isn't.
The skin on your back is crawling.
No, I don't want
First, there
shivers.
is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, right next to the canal. Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
Why are there lungs on your belt buckle? We know why.
Lungs are for love.
L'amour, la compassion, l'autodiscipline.
Love! In a woman's lungs. Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid. This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on. Cause I've never loved someone like you before.
A dopamine surge accompanies the
Oh great, we healed
words.
morale, but we only
It
have 1
feels
point,
like
so we're full.
electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipating into your neck. Feels good, like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call your body.
You said you were worried. What do you think is wrong with the music?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore. Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last months, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper? It's like it's only ultra.
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
If anything, it sounds a bit proto, like it's not fully formed yet. You might be a moribund alcoholic and a failed cop, but you are pretty certain a thing cannot be both proto and hardcore.
Let's tell them.
Wow! Culture cop! I think you might be right. But how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hardcore, how could anything be?
Sounds suspiciously like a question.
No! This is the answer!
Try to think if anything could make it hardcore.
What? Oh yeah! He's doing it!
But you're not. This is almost certainly a matter that surpasses the limits of reason.
My imagination fails me.
I know! So does mine!
Yeah, I remembered something. I'm the police.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it's more like a hinder to us.
Oh!
Yeah, I need something extra.
Yeah!
Are you a thought reader?
No nation, but transnation! No war, but class war!
So you are.
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as fault reading.
Yeah! Revolution imperative!
Unless you were thinking Revolution imperative right now.
No.
Anyway,
Hardcore superstar!
You're not a thought reader, you're a communist.
he's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Palaceum. She was a communist, though.
Yeah! With the rebel yell!
Yeah.
Oh sure, I can do that!
Oh, we
If
healed
you
morale
want
again.
That, I can avoid taking a stand.
Please don't turn him into a moralist.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Don't be a moralist. Wait, what am I saying? You should consider your choice carefully and rationally. He's not going to do that.
Aye!
Tell me something else, egghead.
It's time to compromise! I'm swiftly moving toward a solution which pleases nobody.
Is your name Jermaine?
Dark hardcore! Jermaine!
We just got a skill point from solving this dude's weird speech pattern.
Basically, yes, it is.
Alright!
Why does art inspire you so much?
No, it's Farragut blowhards.
Is it? Yet your eye constantly seeks out the most critical side.
It feels
of
when
any
turned
aesthetic
egghead moralist. I got an
confrontation.
achievement for
You
it as well.
follow the expressions of imagination and technical skill with curiosity. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
Wait, is architecture also art?
Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean and criticize the genteel institution of architecture while extolling the virtues of the pure arts.
No, I don't like that.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
No, I can't afford another copy diversion. Go away.
Bravo. Continue. Then, the mediocre and vulgar epigones of the world. So what if everything is incomprehensibly shit and you can see it? Take no responsibility. This was a good call. That guy probably thinks...
Where do we put this point? Oh, we got one last thing we can buy. I wonder what those do. Oh, nothing. Okay, but we don't have anything we can learn. Will you speak to me now?
Huh? I see you're here again.
We're off sign.
Oh,
Hi again. So, how are things going?
As always, we'll be right.
Okay. Help the Raven Star nightclub. It says look into the spookers in the church, but we haven't been able to find out what they're doing. Like, we went in there, we couldn't find anything in the church. So I guess we'll probably just explore more of this little island we're on. Maybe we'll find something more in the church at a later time, or we'll find the password and be able to read both of those cube deals. But that is going to have to wait. Why can't I save it here?